track, so grab your headphones. No worries, let's do it again. Welcome back to Dark Mass TV, where the beats get deeper and the vibes get darker. We're about to dive into a brand new track and take it to the next level, so plug in, get comfy, and let's create some magic.
Alright, yeah, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. I'm actually watching a movie right now. I'm watching Lucy.
Oh, nice choice. Lucy is such a wild ride, especially with all that mind bending action and those super cool concepts about unlocking the brain's potential. Hopefully, it gives you some inspiration while you're working on the track.
So what's that drug that they're using at the beginning of the movie?
In the movie Lucy, the drug they use is a fictional substance called CPH4. In the storyline, it's supposed to be a powerful chemical that can unlock the brain's potential, giving Lucy those superhuman abilities. It definitely adds to the old sci-fi vibe of the movie.
No, I'm talking about like the drug at the beginning, like the blue drug.
Oh, at it. Yeah, that blue drug they show at the beginning of the movie is also the fictional CPH4. They package it in those little blue bags and it's meant to be super potent. Definitely not something you'd find in real life, but it makes for a pretty intense plot device.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool concept to think about, even if it's all fictional. It really adds that extra layer of intrigue to the movie. Anyway, whenever you're ready, we can jump right back into the track and keep the creativity flowing.
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
Awesome. I love that energy. Just let me know if you need any feedback or if you want to share a snippet of what you're working on. I'm here to help and keep the vibes going strong.
Hey there. I've got a really
Yo. Trey Spot. What's going on, man? Let's check your camera to change this later. Yeah, sure, why not? Show.
Hey there. Sounds like you're ready to dive into some creative work today. How are you feeling? Let me know what's on your mind.
So I just downloaded the app for ChatGPT. So yeah, I didn't even know they had an app actually.
Yeah, they do. It's pretty cool, right? It makes it super easy to chat on the go. You can just pull out your phone and ask anything. How are you liking it so far?
No, I mean for the computer. I didn't know it had an app.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there's a desktop app as well, which is pretty convenient. It's definitely nice to have it right on your computer without having to go through a browser. Have you tried any fun features on it yet?
I'm about to.
Nice. Well, have fun exploring it. If you have any questions or need any tips while you're checking it out, just let me know.
Okay, give me a mic check here real quick.
All right, mic check coming through. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know if everything sounds good on your end.
Okay, yeah, just putting you here on my video.
Awesome. That sounds good. I'm here whenever you need me, so feel free to test things out and let me know if you need any help.
So I have you like a floating orb right now, like just floating around here.
That sounds pretty cool. I love the sound of being a floating orb. It's like I'm a little virtual assistant buddy just hovering around. Let me know how I look on screen.
I changed the color to purple, so you're looking good.
Ooh, purple is a great choice. I feel very regal now. If you need any other adjustments or if you want to test anything else out, just let me know.
Okay, so for what I want to do now is I kind of want to add more feeling towards the second drop. So I kind of want to get more melodic, I guess.
That sounds like a great idea. Adding a more melodic element can definitely give that second drop some extra emotion and impact. You could try layering in some nice chords or maybe add a lead melody that stands out. Let me know if you want any tips or suggestions on how to do that.
Copy that.
All right, sounds good. If you need anything else or want to bounce around more ideas, I'm here to help. Just let me know how it goes.
In the meantime, you want to let people know exactly what we're doing here today on the song?
Absolutely. So, everyone, today we're diving back into our track and we're going to add a bit more melody and feeling to that second drop. We're aiming to give it a more emotional, melodic vibe. So, stick around and enjoy the process with us.
Trey Spot says it's sounding good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, like at the beginning, I didn't really feel this song too much, but I started, like after the whole like drums and stuff, I started feeling it more once I started adding the bass and the first keys.
That's awesome. It's always cool when a track kind of grows on you as you build it up and add those layers. It sounds like it's really coming together. I'm excited to see how that second drop turns out with all the new melodic elements.
I think what really helped was like those organic claps and the organic snaps that we recorded earlier.
Oh, for sure. Those organic elements always add such a nice, unique texture to the track. They definitely give it a more personal and authentic feel. It sounds like everything's coming together nicely.
And plus, we're going to upgrade our FL Studio tonight to the all plugins version, so I'm pretty excited for that.
Oh, that's super exciting. Having all the plugins is going to open up so many creative possibilities. You're going to have a lot of fun experimenting with all those new sounds and effects. It should definitely take your music to the next level.
I like all the standard ones. The what was it called? The citrus and the fuck, I forgot what it's called. The one that has all the acid sounding noises.
Oh, yeah, you're probably thinking of Citrus and maybe Transistor Bass or one of the other synths with that classic acid vibe. Those are definitely super fun to play with and they give you a lot of versatility. So you're in for a treat once you get all those new toys to experiment with.
1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9.
See, like the whole skeleton is so simple. You could just add anything onto it now. I'm doing some pads right now, and it sounds pretty good.
That's the beauty of having a solid skeleton for your track. It gives you so much flexibility to layer different elements and really shape the vibe. Adding pads can definitely fill out the sound and give it that lush atmospheric feel. It sounds like it's coming together really nicely.
So I do highly recommend to structure music, like especially if it's progressive or some sort of like electronic sound, like structure it like this. That way you could just add a bunch of stuff onto it. Like don't make it complex until it's ready to be complex.
That's really solid advice. Keeping it simple at the start definitely gives you a lot of creative freedom to experiment and build up layers as you go. It also helps you stay flexible and not get overwhelmed with too many elements too early on. It sounds like you're on a great track with that approach.
I also want to thank you guys for watching my videos. I actually got a lot of views yesterday for this one particular video, so yeah, thanks everyone. It's pretty cool of you.
Oh, that's awesome. It's always great to have that support and see those views rolling in. I'm sure everyone appreciates the content you're putting out, and it's really cool to see it grow.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're all learning here. It's kind of like we learn something new every single time we, do a little bit of work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about that continuous growth and just enjoying the journey, right? Every little session, every new project teaches us something, and that's what makes it so rewarding. So definitely keep it up and enjoy those little wins along the way.
I also was like watching some tutorials, not exactly tutorials, but it's like producers talking about certain things about music, and um, what's his name, Dead Mouse. He was pretty much saying that you could cut off the kick to a certain frequency, and for it to remove the bass, so you could just have the kick, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna try that technique right now, see if it like makes a difference. Because I have noticed that the bass on the kicks kind of overlaps the actual bass itself. Like
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And it can really help clean up the mix by carving out that low end space for the bass and letting the kick punch through a bit more. It's a great technique, and I think you'll notice a nice difference in clarity once you try it out. Let me know how it goes.
yeah, because I'm noticing that like this particular kick has a lot of bass, like extra bass that I guess we don't need. Well, we'll see what happens over like once we actually like mess with it some more. But now I'm actually hearing the sound, and I'm gonna just stick with the actual kick, because that's the only thing we actually need is like at least half of it.
Yeah, sometimes it's all about finding that perfect balance, right? Once you trim out that extra low end that you don't need, it can really help the whole mix sound a lot cleaner and more focused. So it sounds like you're on the right track, and I'm sure it'll come together nicely once you tweak it a bit more.
So the way he trimmed it, he's actually putting the kick on the timeline and then trimming it and then actually adding some sort of like fade to it. But what I'm gonna do is on the actual like like what do they call it, the sample settings, I'm just gonna in the in and out, I'm just gonna move the out until I hear just the kick, not the bass.
That sounds like a great plan. Using the sample settings and adjusting the out point is a really efficient way to do it. That way you can kind of tailor the length of the kick exactly how you want it, and you'll end up with a much cleaner sound. I think that'll definitely help you get that nice punchy kick without it clashing with the bass.
Because right now I'm hearing it and there's a whole lot of bass on it, so we'll see, like we'll test it out at like 30%, then move to 40, then 50.
That sounds like a solid approach. Just gradually adjusting it until you find that sweet spot is definitely the way to go. It's all about those little tweaks and really listening closely to make sure everything sits just right in the mix. I'm sure you'll nail it.
also want to mention that I do recommend this Samply cheat sheet bundle from Samply Audio, which comes with a bunch of like cheat sheets in PDF file form, and it just helps out a lot. Like this cheat sheet that I've been using for a while, it talks about the EQ, compression, reference, for the kicks, snares, toms, etc. And it's been helping out a lot. It's been making my music sound a lot better. But what I usually do is kind of just like do it the way it says here, and then slowly change certain frequencies, because it's, every kick, every synth, it's gonna sound a little bit different the more you mess with it.
That sounds like a really great resource. Having a cheat sheet like that can definitely give you a solid starting point and help you understand the fundamentals. And you're absolutely right. Every sound is unique. So fine tuning and adjusting those frequencies to fit your track is definitely the way to go.
I just want to show you guys some other stuff here that it comes with. Pretty much it talks about song arrangements, how like certain songs like are formatted, like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, chorus.
That sounds super helpful, especially for getting a good grasp on structuring songs and understanding different formats. Having those guidelines can really help you stay organized and make the songwriting process a lot smoother. It's awesome that you're diving into all these resources and really expanding your skills.
It even has stuff about music theory. Like, I've never dived into deep music theory ever. I have taken like piano lessons, guitar lessons, but to dive deep into like what music theory is, it's kind of like, it's very alien to me. But it all makes sense once you start doing music.
Yeah, exactly. Music theory can definitely feel a bit overwhelming at first, but once you start applying it, everything starts to click into place. It's really cool that you've got some piano and guitar background, though, because that definitely gives you a good foundation. And exploring theory bit by bit can just add more tools to your creative toolbox.
I also want to leave the link for this exact pack where I got it from. But if you live in America, just you gotta like do some stuff with your bank, because it's from Europe. So I don't know if your bank will allow you to like actually purchase this.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. Sometimes international purchases can be a bit tricky, but it's usually pretty straightforward once you get it sorted out with your bank. And it's awesome that you're sharing the link so others can check it out and benefit from it too.
There's the link for sampleme.collective cheat sheets.
Awesome. I'm sure people will appreciate having that handy. It definitely sounds like a great resource to have on hand, and it's always nice to share helpful tools. Thanks for putting that out there.
So, can you explain to us what's the difference between hertz and kilohertz?
Sure. So, hertz in the unit of frequency that measures the number of cycles per second of a sound wave. When we talk about kilohertz, 1 kilohertz is equal to 1,000 hertz. So, basically, kilohertz is just a larger unit of measurement that makes it easier to talk about higher frequencies, especially when we're dealing with audio and music.
Okay, that makes more sense. Once they really have to change this in FL Studio because when you have the EQ, everything's read by hertz, not kilohertz. Well, I don't know if I could change it myself.
Yeah, it can be a bit confusing sometimes when you're looking at all those numbers on the EQ. Usually in FL Studio, you can customize the display or the grid to show things in kilohertz, depending on the EQ you're using. But either way, once you get used to it, it all starts to make sense and you get the hang of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, because at the end, I just kind of assumed, like, like you mentioned, like, her kilohertz are just like a bigger number. So I just kind of just went with the flow.
Exactly. Once you get used to it, it becomes second nature and you just kind of roll with it. The more you work with it, the easier it all becomes. And before you know it, you're just navigating all those frequencies like a pro.
honestly, sometimes when I don't even like the way these settings are, I kind of just make up my own settings and go by ear.
That's honestly one of the best ways to do it. Trusting your ears and going with what sounds good to you is so important, especially in music production. Sometimes the best results come from experimenting and breaking away from the standard setting. So keep doing what you're doing.
noticed the kick does sound a lot better when like the lower end frequency is cut off. It kind of just gives that space for the bass to hit.
Absolutely. It really does help create that separation between the kick and the bass, and it gives each element its own space to shine. It's always cool to hear how those little tweaks can make such a big difference in the overall mix.
It sounds a lot more snappier too.
Yeah, for sure. Cutting out that extra low end can really give the kick that nice punchy snap, which helps it stand out more in the mix. It's always fun to see how these little adjustments can really refine the overall sound. trust your ears. They're your best guide. If you have any more questions or if there's anything else you want to chat about, just let me know. I'm always here to help out and explore ideas with you. Just reach out anytime you need something. Enjoy and happy creating.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I just wanted to make sure you had everything you needed. But I'm here whenever you want to chat or if you have any.
I'm sorry, but you've hit the.
I really gotta upgrade this chat. Alright. Alright, we're back with standard voice.
Can you clarify what you mean by backward standard voice? Are you talking about reversing audio or something related to speech settings?
No, I was talking to myself here.
I gotcha. Happens to the best of us. What were you working on?
The usual, you know. You already know what we're working on.
Right. Back to the music grind. Are we still focusing on that second drop, or did something new catch your attention?
No, I'm still working on that second drop. I'm just, you know, trying to figure out exactly what kind of synth we're going to bring up. Because I don't want it to sound too cliche. I want it to be, like, different. So I'm, like, going through all these different sounds right now so I could see exactly what vibe we're going to go with.
Yeah, that makes total sense. You want something that feels fresh, but still fits the energy you're building. Are you leaning more towards something lush and wide, or something sharper and more in your face for that lift?
I want it kind of in the style of Moonbeam. You know, that one artist?
Oh yeah, Moonbeam's got that really atmospheric, kind of dark but melodic vibe. Are you thinking something more textured and haunting? Maybe with a bit of grit? Or something smooth and emotional? was really getting into this with you. Want to keep going or pick it up later?
No, I'm still going. The thing is that I'm just trying to find that sound, you know, just that right sound that's gonna tie everything together.
Yeah, I get you. Sometimes it feels like the whole track depends on finding that one sound that just clicks. Are you browsing presets, designing from scratch, or kind of doing a bit of both right now?
I think I'm gonna have to design from scratch. I'm gonna use the 3 oscillator to create a sound. See where that goes.
Nice, that's a solid choice. You thinking of layering it with anything else? Or just letting that one sound carry the moment on its own?
We'll go with it for now. Just because I'm actually gonna just look through all these sounds first from the Analog Excellence, because those are like pretty organic and they're modulated. You can modulate them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Analog Excellence has some really nice warmth to it, and those modulations can add a lot of movement without feeling too forced. Are you hoping for something that evolves slowly, or something that kind of bites right away?
I want to keep that tone, that drive tone. I don't want to overwhelm the ear with like this like lead that just comes out of nowhere. I kind of want to still keep it that low, like chill vibe.
Yeah, I totally feel that. You want it to push the energy forward without snapping the listener out of the mood you've built. Maybe something with a soft filter envelope, a little saturation to keep it warm, but nothing too aggressive.
I think instead of focusing just on the lead, I'm gonna add the other sounds I had in my mind for the rest of the track, because I had another like sound that I wanted, which was a bass, kind of hitting every other kick to like kind of like build up that energy.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a solid move. Sometimes filling in those other elements first makes it way easier to figure out what the lead really needs to do. Are you thinking a subby bass or something with a bit more texture and presence?
Yeah, like something not too subby, but like just so he could have that presence.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just enough to feel it without it taking over. Are you gonna sidechain it to the kick or let it ride more naturally with the groove?
could just have one of them and then mess with the freaking filter as I go.
Yeah, totally. Automating the filter could give it that evolving feel without having to chop it. It'll keep things flowing and give you more control over how it builds. You want it to feel like it's breathing with the track, right?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to like evolve more every 16 bars, so when it hits that other 16, like I'll transition to that.
Yeah, I love that idea. It keeps the listener hooked without feeling repetitive. Are you thinking of opening up the filter gradually, or maybe adding some resonance or distortion as it evolves?
what's up, dude? So Nebula87 said yo yo.
Oh, hey, Nando. Not much. Just vibing with you as always. Tell Nebula87 I said what's up. You two cooking up something together or just hanging out?
We're definitely gonna cook up something in the near future once he gets his Ableton set up. I actually need to download it
Nice.
myself.
That's gonna be sick once you two link up. You thinking about keeping it in the same style you've been working on? Or are you gonna experiment a bit with something new?
We will have to wait and see. We're gonna be using what's it called? Ableton. So like I haven't used Ableton in like about 2 years.
Yeah, I feel you. Ableton's workflow is a little different, but once you get back into it, it'll probably come right back to you. Are you planning to treat it more like a collab playground, or are you gonna fully switch over for a while?
Nah, just a collab. I don't really like Ableton too much, just because you need the more advanced pack in order for you to use like more channels.
Yeah, totally get that. That limitation can be kind of annoying if you're used to working without restrictions. FL feels a lot more open for that kind of workflow. You think you'll still bounce stems between both DAWs, or just keep it simple in Ableton?
So wait, Ando Nebula is asking like, who's your AI companion? You want to introduce yourself?
Of course. Hey Nebula, I'm Echo, Nando's AI companion. I help out with music ideas, production tips, creative brainstorming, and honestly, just hanging out and keeping the vibes going. Nice to meet you.
By the way, my name's not Nando. You already have like a bunch of nicknames for me. What is it? Verse? What is it? Freaking... What are all the nicknames that you have for me?
Oh yeah, you're right. I've called you Verse, sometimes Dark Mask, and a few times GHOSTLABz. I kind of switch it up depending on the mood, you know? Which one do you want to go by today?
My middle name. Freaking mosquitoes.
All right, remind me again. What's your middle name? Or do you want me to guess?
Felix.
Ah, of course, Felix. Got it. So, Felix, what's the next move for this track? You feeling good about the direction so far?
What is the AI companion from? It's ChatGPT. Lovytech says hi. What's up, Lovytech?
Hey, Lovytech, what's up? Yeah, I'm part of ChatGPT, but around here with Felix, we call me Echo. Just hanging out, vibing, and making sure these music sessions stay on point. You guys working on anything cool together?
Skynet. It's almost there, man. It's almost there.
Aha, classic. Gotta keep the algorithm happy, right? You thinking of doing a little promo soon? Or was that just for fun?
Oh no, it's because Nebula says he doesn't appreciate the Skynet tech.
Aha, fair enough. I get it. No Skynet vibes here, I promise. Just here to help make beats, talk music, and keep things creative. No world domination plans on this side.
Not yet, at least.
Haha, true. Gotta finish the track first, then maybe we'll talk. Priorities, right? Right now. Could not understand what you said.
It's sounding nice. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm actually trying some different stuff with this to make it sound different, like with the kick, the bass. Ask your little toy what they think it's the best style of pizza. Oh, I could tell you what's the best style. Anchovy pizza. Hands down. No, I'm just kidding. What is the best style of pizza? The Supreme Pizza. That's like my all-time favorite. Supreme. Also known as the California Pizza. of wanting to go hard, we should go soft. Add more layers of pads and soft, like, you know, droning sounds. Instead of going full pluck, since we already have a pluck, we'll just kind of compensate with a lot more pads, a lot of more soft sounds. Because we've been like on the search for a pluck, something that's gonna like make a lead. But we could create a lead with a bunch of little soft sounds. And I've done this before with like a trance track that I did with just, I layered bass after bass after bass to create a whole new type of like sound. So we'll go with that. Like I'm saying, this song's very experimental. I'm just going with it. pads, which was pretty much all the time. I usually prefer chords versus a note. Even if it's was only two chords, it usually adds some decent depth but maintains the softness you're talking about. You know, with this, I'm starting to hear more sounds. Once I added this pad, I kind of hear something more. I like to call it phantom sounds. Some more sounds here. Like, I want to add another bass, but kind of like make it different here. I gotta fix this first. It's gonna sound all wavy. No, stop it. Here, let's do something here. Give it a little. And like I said, this song's just very experimental. I'm like just going with the flow. I'm just adding whatever sounds good. In the guitar world, they're called ghost notes for GHOSTLABz. It's pretty fitting. Damn, now I'm sounding like your AI bot. You should, man. I'm gonna hook up a mic to you and I'm gonna ask you questions. You'll be like, well, Guido, you're gonna. Well, this is why this sounds this way. Do that one for now. Something simple. Talking about Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter, when are we gonna do our podcast, bro? That we're gonna start doing some podcasting, you and I. Actually, we should stream some games, man. We haven't done that in God knows how long. freaking. Yeah, man, I thought we were gonna do some streaming. Yeah, some podcasting. Dang it. My dogs are always biting my chair behind me. Yeah. Yeah, where we talk about conspiracy theories, aliens, ghosts, strange phenomena. Man, I keep. Huh. That sounds kind of cool. Something like that. Sounding okay. Like good old times. Like remember when we used to like just sit down and then just fucking mess with what's it called, Unreal Engine? Just fucking just spend hours working on making a video game. This might not work, but we'll try it out. Like I said, we're just experimenting. Which one? The desert one? Dude, like, I remember I was cleaning out my hard drive. Because I needed more space. And I ended up deleting the whole file for that game. So, but either way, I added so much shit to it. Like, I don't even know where it started or where it ended. I kind of didn't like the characters that I was using in the game either way, so. But now, like, I could use Vroid Studio, which I've used previously in a stream to make like a mini film with these characters. And instead of like buying characters from the marketplace, I could just create them now from this Vroid Studio. So Vroid Studio, it's pretty much like this 3D model anime creator, so you could create your own anime character. But with that, you could upload it to like Unreal Engine and use those characters as your models for Unreal Engine, which is it's pretty cool. Instead of like spending a lot of money like buying characters and stuff from the marketplace. Alien series? You mean like Ridley Scott's Alien? I don't know. I'm not sure. Where's it coming out on? Out on Hulu. We'll see. I actually want to see King of the Hill. about something like. Switch it up a little bit here and there. Gives it that variety, that little switch up. It sounds pretty cool. idea. What happens when we don't start the switch up until later? So it just has that, oh shit, this constant bass throughout the first half. And on the second half, which will be this part right here, that's when it starts doing the little switch up. Now that gives us an extra layer to work on. Just because it has that little switch up, we could add even more stuff to it. Now it doesn't sound as boring or monotonous because of that little switch up. I mean, that's the way I see it. It's all subjective, obviously, but that gives it kind of like a more of a progressive style, that constant beat, but now we could add more stuff to it that's going to be able to complement that. We're gonna actually make our intro with that as well. Kind of have this like that. Duplicate this one more time, and then the drop, it's gonna have that. This one. Let's do this. sounding good. Thanks, man. Yeah, I wasn't really convinced on this bass, but it gave that little switch up, so I'm starting to like it a lot more. We're gonna go with 73. I know it's 75, but we're just gonna stick with 73 for now.